Okay,
You just sounded hella tired because I was talking to you too.
go ahead.
We're good.
Yeah, we're good.
Are you sure
We're recording.
Okay.
Hey man, how you doing?
What's going on, everybody?
Are we doing the intro?
I mean, like, why not?
Oh,
I thought
okay.
you were gonna do the intro and just jump in. Not no music.
Oh, okay. All right, keep it going. Keep it rolling. keep keep it rolling, people. Keep it going.
Okay. Sadly,
We are professionals.
professionals. All right. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Y'all Ready for Drinks, the podcast for adults who are still growing up. I'm your co-host, Richard Socius.
I'm your other co-host, Arman Lopez. What's up, Rich?
What's going on, man?
Apparently, we still suck at doing this. That's what's up.
For one, if this is the real recording, first take was Armin breathing hella hard into the fucking mic. And then, like, just now, fucking, what? Oh, we're really doing the intro?
Hey, man, this is emergency recording. I didn't think we were gonna treat this like a regular episode.
Right, but emergency recording because of a unfortunate event that happened earlier this week.
Well, yeah. So this episode was something that we wanted to do for a while. We had this idea since season 1, but we decided to push it to season 2, and this was actually gonna go later in the season.
Yeah, we didn't think we'd go this deep this soon in season 2.
The first day of season 2, we're going into it. But due to in light of recent events, just this past week, and then for myself a couple of weeks ago, we figured this is the best time. Well, I wouldn't call it the best time, but it's the appropriate time
to bring up this topic.
Yeah. Death is something that a lot of people don't like talking about. It's I wouldn't call it taboo, but it's very people like to avoid it.
Yeah, I mean, it makes people uncomfortable.
Well, yeah, of course. You know, it sucks. Death sucks. But it's something that we're all going to deal with eventually, one way or another. And I feel like a lot of people need to hopefully
Hey, Benji.
Hey, Benji. Hopefully they could this can help like with the healing process.
Yeah, I mean, just hearing other people's like process, or like, you know, having you guys hear how we go through these you know, death or grieving, mourning, and all that kind of stuff. You know, hopefully you can just put into light. Maybe you guys do the same stuff, and then you guys aren't alone. You know.
Yeah. So let's get right into it with the most recent thing that happened. We all know this is day 6 since the news broke out. It happened on Sunday. So today's Saturday. Yeah. So you know, this just we all know what happened. Kobe Bryant tragically passed away with his daughter and seven others passengers. Sorry, I don't know the names.
Yeah.
I should have.
But we're at least gonna try and acknowledge that.
I'm gonna pull their names up.
Yeah.
But it was such a shock.
Yeah.
Like where were you when it happened?
Dude, I was in bed.
You were in bed?
I was in bed, and like, it's weird because it's like I you know, I work 2 p.m. Sunday through Thursday, and like I sleep till, I don't know, 11 o'clock.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But for some reason, like that day, I woke up hella early. I woke up, I don't know, 7:30, 8 o'clock. And then I get a text from you in our group chat that we have with our friends, you know, and all it said was like, did y'all hear what happened to Kobe?
Yeah.
And I was like, I mean, you know, previous day, LeBron broke his record.
Yeah.
But I'm like, all right, let's see. Maybe it's just nothing too crazy. Maybe he's like, you know, maybe
he's coming back.
He's coming back, yeah, you know. And I look it up, and literally not even 10 minutes. The first article I saw, you know, tragic passing, Kobe dies in helicopter crash.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, nah, quit fucking with me.
Right.
I'm gonna go back to sleep.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
I'm gonna go back to sleep on it for like 2 hours. This is stupid.
You're gonna wake up, it's a stupid what is it called? A stupid hoax.
Yeah,
and
you know.
But nah, that was
real.
That shit was real. It was that's the exact same feeling I had. I was actually driving when I got the news. My cousin hit us up in our group chat. He's like, Kobe died, and I was like, I saw the text. I was like, no fucking way.
Yeah, especially just like Kobe died.
Yeah, I was like, what? All my cousins didn't believe it, so you know, I googled it, and like nothing happened, no news or anything brought out yet. So I was like, okay, if it's not on the news yet, there's only one other place it could be. So I went straight to Twitter.
Okay.
You know, I went to Twitter, had to see live updates, what's going on, and I started seeing small bits and pieces of it, like, oh my god, I can't believe this happened. Helicopter crash. No way, it can't be Kobe. And then it started all the verified people started chiming in, you know. And then it really hit me once one of the most known people to like drop official news on the NBA, like trade signings, whatever, retirements. Woj, we always call it like a Woj bomb when something happened. Well, the most tragic Woj bomb happened. He confirmed that Kobe Bryant was on that helicopter. Damn. And when I saw that, I was like, I couldn't believe it. I had to stop myself from looking up while I was driving. Because I didn't want to be in an accident of my own.
Right.
So I drove and I just stopped and I started reading into it. And I couldn't believe it. That shit was that was crazy.
It's still like unbelievable. You know, even when you texted me, I went back to sleep, woke up like 11 o'clock, and then like I was like started going through everything, and I was like, even then I still didn't believe it.
Right.
I went to work and I was like, I keep seeing stuff. I'm like, nah, it can't be real. And then like as the day progressed, you know, it didn't take me till the end of my shift. I get off at 10:30 p.m. To finally like accept it.
Right.
You know, because I was like, yeah, this can't be real. Like me and like some coworkers talking about it, but like I just let them talk, whatever. But like, it's still hitting me right now. You know, it's what, Saturday.
Yeah.
It's been almost an entire week since it's happened, and it sucks, man.
it's a lot to process, especially on the very day it happened. This is actually the very first celebrity death that like really affected me.
Yeah, same here.
You know, I saw what happened. I remember when I found out Michael Jackson died. My mom was telling me about it. I was like, oh man, you know, good music. That's, you know, great music, but that's like that sucks. You know, and then the whole like earlier last year, Nipsey. You know, I didn't know who he was, but I saw the celebrity death. I was like, oh, you know, that's unfortunate. But then this was like he was like a childhood hero. You know, so
absolutely.
You know, a lot of people, the people who follow this podcast, they probably know I'm a big Warriors fan. But what a lot of people didn't know is that before I was actually a Lakers fan when I was a kid because I just followed what my dad liked. I didn't know there was a basketball team in the Bay Area, so I just followed what my dad liked. He liked the Lakers, huge Kobe fan. So I had a poster of him on my wall. You know, I had his cards. It was pretty cool. And then, you know, even though I moved on to another team, I still respected him.
Yeah,
great player, especially what he did after his career. To see this happen at 41 years old, that's tragic.
Yeah, I mean, like the next day when like I've somewhat accepted, I was talking to another coworker, and like I was telling him, I was like, for some reason this really hits hard. You know, this one in particular really hit hard. I was like, I love Michael Jackson. That one was like, oh, he passed away. It sucks. I love his music. Prince. Died. I love his music. I'm naming a bunch of artists that I know, like James Brown, for example. Nipsey. Paul Walker.
Yeah, Paul Walker.
You know, and it's like putting all those and like comparing it to Kobe, like it's night and day.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, this one affects because this one is like, you know, I've probably only followed like I've only known about Paul Walker since like the first few Fast and Furious movies, or any of those other artists I didn't really know much about as a kid. But I knew who Kobe was at like 8 years old. I knew who he was. This man was dunking on people, hitting great shots, had the fro.
Right, that's what I'm saying. And I forgot which announcer it was, but he said it the best. He was saying like, you know, Kobe is this generation's Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
in my opinion, I agree.
I can see where they get that because, you know, the game was modeled after him, but like just the star power that he had over the 90s kids.
You know, they were saying like, you know, Kobe is who people imitate.
Yeah.
They want to be him. When they think NBA, that's probably the first person that pops up in their mind. You know, and like I was talking to someone and they were saying like, you know, I always say like, you know, put him among the greatest. You know, Wilt, Jordan, LeBron, Larry Bird, whatever, right? For some reason, like Kobe Bryant was able to separate himself from all the said greatest of all times. You know, and it's weird, you know.
Well, yeah, it's still weird to see 1978 to 2020, you know, like, and see his name right there. And it feels like we're in a alternate timeline. I feel like a lot of people say that it just feels like this is something that you were going to see in the future. If you were to like have a window and see into the future, you would have seen this and be like, okay, maybe 40, 50 years in the future. Yeah,
Right.
I can
When he's
see
old.
that. When he's old. Yeah, when he's old. But of course, this just caught everybody
Yeah,
off,
I mean,
off guard.
it was like how you know, a lot of these people are, some of these greats are still alive.
Yeah.
Magic Johnson, Shaq, Charles, Jordan's still alive.
Jordan's still alive. Well, they're still relatively young. Julius Erving's like in his 80s. You know, Oscar Robertson.
Yeah.
These are all people that played in the 70s and earlier. You know, Jerry West is still alive.
And these people are saying like, these people, we see these people and think, like, oh, they're athletically great, they're fine, they're good, but we never realize that these tragic accidents can happen.
Oh yeah.
And like,
and that they could happen to anyone.
Exactly.
You know?
And this brought in this wave again of the entire world like appreciating life again.
Well, yeah. I think it's just because a lot of people, when they see Kobe, they think, oh yeah, this man's, he still has a lot to do.
He's a young dad. He's still got another 40 years on him. He's got kids. He's got young kids.
And and seeing this accident makes people like realize like, oh, death is not discriminate. It'll take anybody.
Yeah.
And, and the fact that it makes it even worse that there was like, there was Kobe's kid, Gigi, and then there was an entire family.
Yeah.
Like three, I think from what I've heard, it was a mother, father, and a daughter. And they had that family had two more kids. Then those two kids are now parentless and they just lost a sibling, and that's terrible. Those kids, like, we say Kobe had a lot to live for.
Yeah.
Those kids,
those people, like all those people there, they all had something.
There was,
they all had reason. And like, it just sucks, thinking about it even more. It's just like, it's just unfortunate.
And it
sucks. Excuse me. God, I got a cough. Fuck.
And I think, so, I don't know, what's it called? What's your experience with like grieving, Rich? Like, because I was listening to another podcast earlier, and there was this basketball fan, basketball YouTuber, loved Kobe, said this was the first time he ever had to deal with like a death, a celebrity death, but someone that he deeply loved.
Yeah.
And he said he didn't know how to deal with it. This is like the first time he's ever going through the motions. Like, so what's your experience?
I always say just in general about death and whatever, silence is a really good medicine.
Yeah.
At least in my opinion. A lot of alone time. I like, taking it to a personal level, when my grandfather passed away, or even like both my grandfathers, my mom and my dad's side, when I heard they pass away, I didn't really talk to people as much. I didn't let people know. I kept all that stuff to myself. And those times where I was like thinking about them or grieving or mourning or whatever, like I was quiet. I never said anything. I just let my thoughts run through. I stuck to myself a lot.
Yeah.
It's, some people may say that that's not a healthy
way to do it.
You gotta, you gotta let it out, blah blah blah. But in my personal opinion, silence. A lot of silence. A lot of just thinking to yourself, accepting what's going on.
Yeah.
And just letting it go in your own way.
Well, yeah, everybody mourns and grieves in their own way. There's no specific way, like, oh yeah, you gotta do this, you do that. Nah, and it's for people that are like they're dealing with this for the first time, it's gonna be tough because this is a whole brand new set of emotions that people are feeling, especially like say it's not a celebrity death, maybe it's someone they knew. I feel like a lot of feelings or the main feeling that a lot of people feel, especially if it's a sudden tragic death, it's regret. Regret is something that I think a lot of people always feel because
absolutely.
Because for me, before the whole Kobe event happened, a couple of weeks ago, as you know, a very close friend of mine passed away. She was only 28, and I found out reading on an Instagram post that her sister posted. When you see those words, rest in paradise, next to your friend's name, it's kind of jarring.
Oh, absolutely.
Like I saw that, and I was like, nah, it can't be her. I'm reading the wrong post. It can't be my friend's name right there next to that. And well, you saw what happened.
that's the last thing that any of us want to see.
Yeah.
Seeing our, our loved ones, our close ones, whatever, especially seeing it in that kind of style, rest in peace, name.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's the same sort of thing with Kobe's like wife.
Right.
She found through TMZ. That's fucked up, you know.
Yeah. It's well, I think
Or that was the first source, at least.
what the story is now is that they TMZ had notified her before putting out the article.
Really?
Well, that's what the president of TMZ
They
is
say.
saying right now.
But besides the point, that's still a fucked up thing to see.
Oh yeah, of
You know.
course, especially if like you're the kids and mom didn't tell you
Yeah.
yet, and then you see it on like someone's post.
Yeah. I mean, at least at least you want to at least you see it or hear it from someone, related to them or whatever.
Oh right, right.
But like I said, like seeing that kind of thing, that's the last thing that any of us in our friend group or anybody in the world wants to see, with their close ones and loved ones.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, I mean, where's it gonna go? Baby Jesus over there in the corner.
Overwatching is
Yeah.
well, I don't know. It's just it's been crazy. The past few years, I've been noticing that, so over the past few years, I've dealt with my half brother's death, my uncle, and
Right.
then my grandma last year, and then my friend this year, and then the celebrity death in Kobe. I feel like each time this happens, it's starting to get a little more closer to home.
Oh yeah.
Each, because like with my my brother, I only knew him like as a 2-year-old. I didn't really get to see him much, and I was always planning to see him when I go back to the Philippines. It happened. A lot of regret that I never got to see him afterwards. My uncle, it was that was just a like sudden out of nowhere. He was in my house, and then and then my grandma. That was something that's kind of been like, I wouldn't call it expecting,
Looming.
it was looming over for a long time. She used to joke that like, when's it my turn?
Right.
Because she was the last living sibling.
That sibling.
So it's just, I feel like each time it's just gonna hit closer and closer until that one day it hits someone in your everyday life.
Yeah. And with that, it's like, you learn. You take these unexpected things that happen, or these sad things, or whatever, these deaths, whatever, you learn from them.
Right.
I always say, live for the dead.
Yeah.
What's it called? Mainly, it's like they wouldn't want to see you having this regret.
Right.
And it's like, I get it. Like, with my grandparents, my grandpas, my dad's side, my grandpa on my dad's side, I remember he took 2 months and he flew over here from the Philippines just to spend time with my dad and me and my brother and my mom. And at that time, I think I was like 13, 14. I was a stupid teenager.
Yeah.
Where I was like, I'd rather hang out with my friends instead of be with my family. And him passing away, and like my other grandfather passing away, gave me, it taught me to respect my family more, to spend more time with them, try to be nicer to them.
Yeah.
Because you never know what can happen.
Right.
So it's like, you take those deaths as a lesson of those things that you couldn't do. For example, like, maybe, your friend, for example. I don't know when was the last time you see her, but it's like you appreciate the people close to you, all the people that you've been with even more.
Oh yeah.
So you take that, and it's not gonna make you feel better, but in a person's passing, I feel they'll be looking at you, be like, "Good job,
Yeah.
you learned."
Oh yeah, you take that and move forward, because that's one of the things I was struggling with during the first few days when I found out about her. It was because one of the regrets I had was that I was in Florida visiting a mutual friend of ours, and we had the chance to go see her because she was in Orlando. I was in what do you call it, West Palm Beach. So we had the chance to see her, but we weren't able to.
Right.
And I kind of regret that we didn't make it for we didn't do a bigger push to go see her, because that would have been the last time I saw her.
Yeah.
Before that, I don't even remember the actual last time I saw her. It's crazy, and
Excuse me.
it's fine.
Death. Ugh.
Well, yeah, it's just that's when I found out about it, and I tried to, I try to think process it. Afterwards, I wanted to make sure that what, I'm gonna try to honor her memory by trying to try to
Make
I don't
time.
know, make time
Make an
and
effort.
make the right choices next time, or
Okay. Yeah.
like to live life better, because you try to, when I see death like that, like that's it, it's permanent.
Yeah.
A lot of people, it's not until someone dies you don't realize that how permanent it is.
Mm-hmm.
You wake up the next day thinking they're still there, and they're not, they're gone.
Right.
So now it's that I'm trying to live life to try to make it better for myself, so because they never got the chance to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You live for the dead, man.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I take a lot of other cultures' traditions.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things is, I forgot which culture it was, but on the death day or on the funeral day, like, there's no crying
Yeah.
because they don't want the evil, the spirit or
Yeah.
the soul of the person to feel like their passing has caused sadness.
I get that.
You
Yeah.
know, and I'm like, I take that, but at the same time, it's more of you know, they're watching over me. They don't want me to be sad.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna be happy that they're gone,
Right.
but at the same time, I'm gonna respect them in the way in which, like, I'm gonna live for them as much as I can, and their regrets, I will try to uphold them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's why, like, I feel like my mom teaches me these family things, and like I never really paid attention to it, and that's one of the things I regret because with my grandparents
Yeah.
or my grandpas. I wish I spent more time with them. I wish I was more. This happens. This denial phase, or not denial. This regret phase.
Yeah.
I wish this. Oh, if he or she was still here, we could be doing this. If I did this, blah 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 blah. And then it sort of just moves on to this phase of like acceptance.
Yeah.
It sucks that they're gone, but I need to accept this and live on for them.
Right. Right. For them, in honor of them.
Whatever have you.
Whatever your relationship was with them. And I think this is what's this is one of the good, like, the one silver lining about someone's passing. Like, I experienced this with my uncle, with my grandma. Like, when they passed and the family got together, every like argument that happened beforehand, it was
Squashed.
yeah, squashed, water on the bridge. Everything was okay. You live for those relationships and try to bring them back together.
Right, and it's crazy because I remember when on my mom's side, my grandpa passed away. There was family drama.
Yeah.
There was a lot of family drama, and I remember. I mean, there's still family drama today, but I remember. My mom said this line, and it stuck with me really hard. She said, "Look, it took your tata's death to bring everyone together."
Yeah.
I was like, dang. I was like, is that what it really takes for families to squash, drama and
Unfortunately,
that kind of shit,
sometimes it does.
and it sucks. It has to be that way, or it seems that way at least.
Yeah, because a lot of people. Well, this is human nature. You don't know what you have until it's gone,
Right.
and once it's gone, you
Think of all the good times and
yeah,
you start missing them and everything.
every little argument, every stupid little thing you get, like that disagreement. It's all just dumb now because the person's gone. So the relationships that are still there, you hold on to them tighter, and yeah, I think with this and the crazy thing like about Kobe's passing is it's now affecting the whole world.
Yeah.
Making the whole world think about the relationships that each person has with somebody else.
Yeah, absolutely.
You see it in the NBA players today. One of the things that I noticed was so maybe a couple of weeks ago there was like a Twitter feud between Kevin Durant and Kendrick Perkins, right? Mm-hmm. And then once Kobe's death happened, now they're Kendrick Perkins is trying to make up with KD because they don't want to leave. If anything could happen to anybody else, they don't want to have that relationship end sour.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And it's like, I mean, nobody wants that.
Yeah.
nobody wants someone to go, and then like you realize that
The last thing you said to them was like "fuck you."
exactly, and especially like I remember there's this. Okay, so there's as this popped up in my head. There's a Tom and Jerry episode,
Yeah,
right? Tom and Jerry. That's Forrest Gump. Peas and carrots.
yeah, yeah,
And there's a time I think where like I think Tom or Jerry wished for like each other to go away or
yeah.
whatever, and then like they regretted it so much. They're like, because like
They didn't know what to do.
I mean, at first it was that whole, oh, this is paradise. They're
Yeah.
gone, blah, 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 blah. And then they start going over the memories like, oh, I remember when he used to chase me around with the frying pan and shit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And you take that into put it, into real life today. It's like, it's those kind of things. Even if you have a bad relationship with someone, when that person is gone, you think back on those and you're like, man, why did we even start this shit?
Right, right. Yeah,
You know?
and it just makes you realize what's really important.
Yeah.
Because I think life pulls people in so many different directions. You're getting older. You try to maintain, start a career. You have hobbies. You have like responsibilities. Some people have kids. Families to take care of. You get so pulled away from each other that once, and say if there was a bad argument or something, and you never got to making up, there's a chance you'll never get to.
Right.
And that's like the worst feeling, right there.
Yeah. Excuse me. God, it's freaking cough.
We gotta pause anyway. Okay.
God. Fucking cough. I'm crying. I cried.
Oh, you cried?
I didn't cry. I teared up.
It's funny. So, when I think a lot of people feel this when they're grieving. I think a lot of people feel like they're not. Like their grieving is different than like it's a little off than what you expect.
I mean, yeah. I mean, when people ask me, like, on my dad's side again, when my grandfather passed away on my dad's side, that same day, I think it was my girlfriend's family member, passed away as well, and they were having I think they had the funeral that day, and she was at the reception, and I texted her the day my grandfather passed away.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, my grandpa passed away in the Philippines, and like I was gonna see her at the reception and everything. And I get there,
Yeah.
and like her cousins, her nieces start giving me a hug and everything.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay, blah, blah, blah. It's sad that he's gone, blah, blah, blah. I was like, dude, guys, like I'm fine.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay. I'm slowly accepting it. I'm going through my own routine and everything. Right. And it's funny because one of her cousins was saying like, she was taking pictures and like I was holding her phone and I checked her phone and I saw that. I was like, oh, I didn't know if I should have told her or not. But I was like, nah, don't even worry about it. Like,
right.
And like a lot of them I feel like a lot of them were like, whoa, that's different.
Yeah.
Like you would think that you'd be home with your parents, after that passing. But it's like, this was a grandfather that, like I said, I met knew only for like 2-3 months.
Yeah.
But I knew that he loved me.
Mm-hmm.
And like when I heard he passed, we made a goal to go to the Philippines.
Yeah.
For his 1 year, which we did.
Mm-hmm.
And like when I was there, I was like, I'm gonna do everything I can with my family.
Yeah.
My little brother's with me. I'm gonna try and make sure his experience is as fun as possible. Him being 9 years old.
Yeah.
Going to see my grandma, my 2 aunts that I've never met before. I was like, I'm gonna treat them like, like I've known them for years, even though this is my first time seeing them. Because I'm taking that lesson from that when my grandfather passed away, and I was like, you know what, I can't be treating my family like they're always gonna be here. Which like my mom beats into my head.
Oh, trust me, my mom has been trying to beat that into my head for a long time too. Yeah. Is that you're taking things for granted?
Yeah.
And when I was younger, I used to think like, it's fine, you know. But then after a few family passings, and then you realize you really can't take things for granted, I mean, that happened when my dad had his third heart attack. You remember? It was like I really thought that was it, and then so after that, I made sure to always
make sure your dad's cool.
Yeah, I check his health. Yeah. I always like Dad, you shouldn't be eating that. Right. But I always make sure to always talk to them after, like, whenever I get the chance to, because you might never get to talk to them again.
Yeah, I mean, this is a little personal story. I don't know if I should be sharing this, but I'm saying fuck it.
Okay.
My little brother was born in 2008.
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks after my little brother was born, my mom went straight to the hospital, emergency ambulance. She couldn't breathe.
Mm-hmm.
Um, little did I know that night, she went down.
Oh.
She was down for, she told me, 15 seconds.
Oh, wow.
They had to resuscitate her
Mm-hmm.
and everything. Um, again, I was a teenager at that time. I didn't know what was going on until my mom told me when she regained consciousness.
Yeah.
She was in a coma for like, I don't know how many days, but she, obviously when I walked in, when I heard that she regained consciousness, in my head I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna hear a mouthful from her, her about life, this, God, this, oh my god,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then it took me time to realize, like, holy shit, I almost lost my mom.
Yeah.
And if she did, like, I would have had to take care of my 2-week-old brother.
Yeah.
And thank God, like, she's still alive today, and like I take that experience as a lesson, as like, I need to get shit done.
Right. Right.
I took it in that direction. Other people were probably being like, oh, you should be spending time with your mom as much as you can. Shouldn't you be like checking on her? And which I am, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it's just more of like, okay, it's crunch time. I know,
Right.
she's beating this into my head since I was 5 years old, that, they're not going to be here forever.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, I need to get this shit done so they can have a peaceful life.
Right.
So
So
I
they-
took it the grind route.
Yeah. Yeah. So that they can live their life.
Exactly. And like,
So they don't have to take care
you
of
don't
you
have to worry
anymore.
about exactly.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I feel the same way because that was when my dad's third heart attack happened. That was also a year after we found out that my mom had cancer. So last year was actually 10 years since that. She 10-year survivor now. Yeah.
Like, not gonna lie, like, it feels like it happened like 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Holy shit.
Last October, that was 10 years. And
Wow.
when the diagnosis happened and then when the heart attack happened, that really made me think, like, they're really not they're not going to be here forever. And those talks that they've always had, because
It makes sense.
you had you had those talks. There was a night where it got a little serious and something happened, and your parents come up to you and they're like, this is they're going to die someday, and this is what you need to do. Especially, like, for me as the older brother, they, like, you have to take care of your little brother. You have to make sure that you two are fine. And I always hated those talks. Because, like, I didn't want to think like that could ever happen.
Yeah, nobody wants to.
Yeah.
No child wants to think that way about their
Yeah,
parents.
no one wants to see that. No one wants to think that. But I realized that those talks were needed because, it's gonna happen one day, and I don't think you could ever be ready for
You're
it.
never gonna be ready,
Yeah,
but you can at least lessen the impact.
yeah, listen to the impact and listen what they had to say.
Yeah. It's funny because you said, like, when it gets all serious. My mom never did that. When if shit was, I'll be making a fucking peanut butter jelly sandwich. Oh, fucking Rich, what are you gonna do when we're gone? Wait, what? I don't know. I'm not gonna have peanut butter jelly sandwiches no more.
Right.
But I'll just be like, what are you gonna do? Huh?
Well, now after we had those talks, like a serious couple of talks before, and now whenever my mom's like, "What are you gonna do without me?" Like, probably gonna die. I'll tell her, how you gonna live without me? Like, I don't know, I'm probably gonna starve.
I do that with my mom all the fucking time. What are you gonna do if I'm not here anymore? I don't know. Live. Move on.
Now, and like, because I finally soaked in what they had to say about it,
Right.
and it's now I try to because I still don't like those talks because like we said, no child ever wants to think about that. But now that I feel like I had those, I finally listened to what they had to say,
and you get it.
I get it,
but they're still beating it into
they're
you.
still trying to talk to me about it. Like, I'll just joke with them about it now because I know what they want to say. They're just trying to repeat it, make sure that it's there. But like, you can stop now.
The funniest when I told my mom was she said the same thing. What are you gonna do when I'm gone? I was like, read your will and see if you left me money. God. Oh shit! My dad was laughing. What's even what was even crazier was my grandma. My grandma's My grandma on my mom's side, she's 70 something years old, and she came over because she needed help filling out her papers for when her funeral comes,
Right.
right? And she was like, there was this. I was going through the paper, I was reading everything. It's like some crazy shit, you
Yeah.
know. It's like, and like one of them that caught my eye was like your casket choice,
Yeah.
you know. And I was telling her, like, nah, you should get one that's all pimped out. You have a, LCD screen. I'll put a bingo machine in there.
Stupid. Okay, let's talk about this because so on the lighter side of this, so you and I we've talked about our own deaths before. We've talked about our own deaths before because see, that's the one thing that everyone's never going to be able to experience, their own
Right.
funeral.
Yeah.
So you and I have talked about this, and while I think that it's still like funny that it would, I, in light of recent events, like I don't know if it'd be appropriate, but I still think it's a funny idea.
Yeah.
That so, all right, you go first. What was your idea?
My idea.
Your idea for your funeral
So-
was that?
So it'd be what's it called? It'd be like a video of like it'd be a nice video and everything, right? Of
Yeah.
like all of my memories, me talking to people in the audience, pointing people out, saying, "Hey, Lewis, you're still ugly as fuck." Everybody still laugh.
Yeah,
Armin,
yeah.
are you still single? That
Yeah,
shit,
yeah, yeah,
everybody
yeah.
be laughing and everything, and then at the end they'd be like, "Guess what, motherfuckers? I'm still alive." And then a little drop down fake ghost would come down on a
Yeah.
rope, and then like you would be behind the curtain,
Oh,
like,
yeah, that's
pulling the string as it swings back and forth, and you just hear a recording of me going, "Ooh, you motherfucker!"
I'm gonna be pulling the string. This is a funeral. I'm gonna be pulling the strings, crying, half of laughter and half that you're gone.
And then at the end, it's like, "I hope that made you die from laughter, Armin. Is he still alive?"
Stupid.
Fuck.
See, and I think that's
Oh Jesus.
I think that's a good way to look. Because mine was a little more vengeful, I guess. Was my idea was that it would be open casket. I think it was somebody's gonna be near my casket whenever they're doing the viewing, and when he's gonna have a list, right?
Okay.
He's gonna have a specific list, and there's gonna be like a check mark next to specific names, and that whenever those people will come up, the person was gonna pull a pulley. My arm's gonna raise up, and I'm gonna flip them off. Depending on who you are, that might be a legitimate like I fuck you or hey man.
I'll be in a fucking wheelchair. Someone pushing me. Richard Socius? Yeah.
For you get like 2.
Whoa! Fireworks. Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
See you in hell, fucker. I was kidding.
I have a chair reserved for you. No, but and that kind of stuff, I think it helps lighten the mood, because humor is one way to deal with grief. And
Yeah, absolutely.
and I remember there was something that our friend Shivam told me once. He says at my funeral I don't want people crying.
Yeah.
I want people laughing.
Same here.
And when I was younger, I never understood that. I always thought like, no, you're supposed to be
You're supposed to be sad.
Supposed to be
You're
sad
that I'm gone, motherfuckers.
yeah, be sad that you're supposed to be sad that this person is gone. But
Yeah.
then when as I got older, I realized that okay, you're gonna be sad that they're gone, but you're supposed to be celebrating like
Life.
who they were
Yeah.
and what they meant to you.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I mean that's the same thing with me. I mean, for me, it's more of like, it's more of like if you cry at my funeral, I'm gonna haunt you for life. So don't fucking cry. And plus, it's like I hope that like there be some fucking silly pictures or a silly video of me, so people are laughing. I mean, and like you said, like humor is a way to deal with grief.
Yeah.
And you see that everywhere with like receptions and stuff like that. Everyone shares their memory of
Yeah.
like, what's gone. I remember when my grandma passed away, he was saying that like he got drunk off like shots of water.
Right.
Everyone's laughing, having a good time, and at the end of the day, it's like it moves on to acceptance.
Right.
You gotta accept that they're gone, and you gotta just realize what that means for you.
Yeah. That was what you just described was exactly how my grandma's funeral was like. There when we're in the church and we're just going through the mass, everyone's crying, Then we go to the reception, everyone's just like, it starts somber at first and then, naturally we're with family We're eating good food,
drinking.
We're just, and everyone starts laughing, having a good time. They start talking about her, all the stuff that she did. There was a what's it called? There was a story about my grandma and my cousins. I think, so my cousins who were little at the time, they're older than me, but they were like 4 or 5. They got caught looking at a magazine, a porn magazine.
Porno?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was one of the uncles.
Okay.
And my grandma pulls them from their feet underneath the bed. I was like, "What are you looking at?"
Oh, they're underneath the bed?
Yeah.
The stash?
Because they had their feet sticking out.
Yeah.
They're all laughing, like, and then my grandma pulls them out. And when I heard that story, I was dying.
Yeah.
And it's stories like that about whoever the person that passed. That just makes people happy.
Mm-hmm.
You celebrate what they did, even if it was like funny stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a celebration of
Their life.
of their life and life in general, because
Yeah.
LeBron's speech, at the end,
Yeah.
he was saying, like, hug your family, hug everyone you love,
Yeah.
because you never know,
Right.
and it's like, I always thought receptions were weird, like funeral receptions were weird, because like it's usually filled with laughter and happiness,
Right.
and like some family members will be sad,
Yeah.
but then like other like friends of the family that had memories with them or explaining what happened,
Yeah.
that probably families never heard.
Right.
And they're
right.
all laughing and stuff like that. So I always thought it was weird.
Yeah, it is a weird sight to see, especially if you're not connected to the family.
Right.
You see all these people laughing. First thing you think, like, are they glad that they're gone? Or something. But like, no, they're just laughing because they all are sharing memories together of stuff that maybe some people didn't know about, and it is a little jarring at first, but then once you experience it, you understand why.
And it's even crazier for like the people who you would never know in the world had a memory.
Yeah.
For example, my girlfriend's family member, I think he was like the first family member to offer me a beer. And I was actually her boyfriend at that time.
Right.
Like, he knew about me.
Yeah.
And like he's like kept on pushing a beer on me. I'm like, no, it's okay. I'm trying to be all nice because it's my first time meeting her family and everything. And like, I told this to her cousins and stuff. They're all laughing. I'm like, man, it's crazy how, like you said, you realize what's gone.
Yeah.
And you realize all these things that have happened, because you don't think about that when someone's still here.
Oh,
You
yeah.
think about the now, what's going on now. You never think about the past of what will happen. And, with the reception, you're celebrating life in general now. In my opinion, like those receptions now, you're celebrating life. You're not as well as the person's passing and their memories and their life as well, but you're also celebrating that, to cherish everything what's going on. Oh man. Ow!
What's wrong with you today?
Death. That's what it is.
With the whole thing about death is that, so I have a question for you. What do you think about death? Like, it's such a huge thing that people talk, like, they don't talk about it, but it's a big part of people's lives, right? What do you think of, like, if you were to personify death, what would you see it as?
Remember the scene in Harry Potter?
Which scene?
The Deathly Hallows?
Oh,
Or not the Deathly Hallows, but that when I forgot which film, where they tell the story of the Deathly Hallows.
Yeah. Oh, it's just
Deathly Hallows?
It's it's the little thing.
Yeah,
like
so it's the Grim Reaper.
Yeah, the Grim Reaper.
And but I took the last part, the third brother.
Yeah.
Where he greets him
like an old friend.
Right. You've seen him before. You just didn't know who or he or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But when you do see it,
and it's time,
you'll know.
Yeah.
So that's the way I see it, at least. That's how I personify. And like, it can be anything,
Yeah.
It is a little bit jarring thinking about our own.
Yeah.
Death. We may, put light on it, talking about like
Joke about
ghosts and shit like that.
Yeah,
but it's like when you really think about it, like you would, I would think that someone, when it's my time to go, that I would see somebody that would make me feel comfortable,
right?
But nobody else sees.
Oh, okay,
You know,
okay.
it's that scene where like I'm on my deathbed and
Yeah.
family members and loved ones and blah 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 are all surrounded by me, and then you look behind, you look at the hospital door, the entrance to your room,
Yeah.
and you see a person just standing there and waving, and I'm like, oh hey,
Yeah.
hey friend. So that's how at least I think about it. It's something. It's not as comforting. You know, some
Yeah.
people say, oh, I start floating, blah blah blah. You know, something nice. It's more of just meeting someone that you know you're gonna see.
Right.
You know, it's like it's a long time old friend.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
how about yourself? How would you personify it?
Well,
Death.
I was having trouble with that until I had I would guess I would call it a nightmare.
Okay.
Like it was about a month or two ago.
Yeah.
So this was a pretty interesting one because I woke up like in a cold sweat. It was it was in the nightmare. I was in my bed and for some reason I had sleep paralysis
Oh.
in my nightmare, right? So I couldn't move. I'm like laying on the side like this. My head's turned a little bit. And at the foot of my bed, I see like a cloaked figure.
Okay.
And I get the idea that it is like this is death staring me in the face. And the first thing I said for some reason I said, "Hey, I can't move my head. Can you come over here if you're gonna say anything?"
Okay.
And it moved.
Oh, okay.
It moved to the side of my bed right here.
Yeah.
And for some reason, it had the voice of Death from Family Guy. I forget what the voice who voiced
This
it.
is like super casual.
Super casual.
Oh,
like,
hey Armin, how's it going?
I was like, "Hey, man." I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" And it was telling me like stuff that I need to do better and stuff like that. And I woke up and I was like, "What the fuck? Did I just tell Death to move over here?" Just because I couldn't move my head? Because sleep paralysis in my dream, I can't move. So I was like, "Yeah, man, I can't see you. Can you move here?"
I always see like those beings, angels, demons, or devils, or just death.
Yeah.
I always see them as corporate agents.
Right.
So when I was telling you, like, I see somebody next to my door, he's like in a suit, in like
Yeah.
a business suit, like Mr. Smith from like
From Matrix. Yeah.
like just chilling over there, and he just he like waves at me and
It's time.
it's it's time. I'm like, oh, all right.
Yeah.
And like I always say, how some people say they believe in angels and they have angels protecting them. I always say there's two sides.
There's Angel of Death.
There's the angel of death and there's your guardian angel.
And sometimes the Guardian's like, "All right, man, we got to go with him."
I mean, I always say that, but it's either like they're buddies.
Yeah.
They're two. They're like, for example, like us. If there was someone like sitting right here, like we'd be talking shit about them.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like I always see it that way. So for some reason, every time I see like corporate figures in my dreams or whatever, like I think they're like angels or like our angel or what's it called, angels of death.
Yeah.
And I've seen plenty of them. I walked in a crowd of them. I'm like, they're all just social. I'm like, oh, what's up, guys? I have weird dreams.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Okay, that's
It's weird.
Agents of Death.
Yeah, I mean, and it's funny because it's like, obviously a lot of movies, shows personify angels and devils and stuff like that. And my favorite ones are the ones where they're like in like suits and ties.
Yeah. It's very professional.
Yeah, very professional.
It ain't janky.
They have files on all everyone's lives and everything. Everything that you've done. You have a sin cabinet.
Every thought you had, every bad thought you had, my cabinet would be filled.
Exactly, like cabinet of sins. More of a fucking closet for me.
The fucking the agent's gonna roll down a scroll. They're just gonna keep on
It's
going.
gonna keep on going. It's the Bruce Almighty file cabinet where you pull it.
Except that was his life. Mine would just be all the fucked up shit. All the
bends and turns.
bad decisions and bad thoughts. But all right. So with the whole thing about angels and death, what about afterlife? Because so with each death that has passed, that's like I've experienced with close and loved ones. I feel like, as you know, I'm not as religious as I used to be. And with each passing, I feel like I lose a piece of it every time.
Okay.
But I still keep some kind of idea, like
A little bit of faith.
a little bit of faith of an afterlife.
Oh, okay.
The idea that a place that where we all go to can't be bad, right?
Right. Can't be as bad as everyone personifies it.
But yeah, like hopefully it ain't bad. What's your thought on that?
It was weird. It didn't take me till maybe a couple years ago finally like agree with what I believe in. A lot of people, obviously, both of us are both very heavy Roman Catholics in our families.
Well, we were raised Roman Catholic.
Roman Catholic, and so of course, like we're grown and taught that there's a heaven and a hell. There is no in between.
Right,
you know, blah 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 blah.
And you must follow these things to get into heaven.
Right, and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
Right. But then like it took me one question that I asked myself. I was like, if God is all great or Jesus is all good, why does he have to choose who goes to hell, who goes to to heaven?
Right.
You know, and so I put that aside, the whole heaven and hell thing. I put it aside because I was like, that can't be real.
Right.
You know, a person who's as just has this system of separating people. That's fucked up. You know?
Segregation.
Exactly. I was like, yeah, come on,
man.
Yeah. And then it didn't take me until like I got into this genre of Japanese manga called isekai, which is reincarnation.
Okay.
So a reincarnation or transportation to another world. All these mangas have a general idea, which when someone dies or they move on, they get like reborn as a monster or as another person in a completely different world. I would like to believe that. As of right now, that is what I believe. I believe in reincarnation.
Oh, okay. All right. Interesting.
Not into that sense of I'm gonna go to a world of fucking magic and dragons. Exactly. You know, we're more into the fact of I forgot which religion it was that believes in reincarnation, but based off your
Hinduism.
Probably.
Because you and I both took world religions with Van Patten.
Right. I think that's where I probably had it.
Yeah.
And so sure, maybe it's Hinduism or whatever, right? But it's the thought that the way you approach your previous life will dictate what you are reincarnated as in your next.
Yeah, I think that's I'm pretty sure I might be wrong, but I remember that's what Van Patten was talking about.
So it's like, you know, you have a shitty life, you're a bad person, you're fucking reborn as an earthworm.
Yeah, so you get like
you're eating shit.
Yeah, you're eating
shit. You get eaten by a bird, you know.
Yeah.
Or, you know, you have a decent life. You grow, you know, you get reborn as a fish.
Or
you know.
Yeah.
Or something like that. So as of right now, I mean, yeah, I'm still very much Roman Catholic, you know. But it's like, as for the afterlife and for the question, it's reincarnation.
Oh, okay.
I do believe that at some point in our lives, when we do pass,
we come back
as something else, someone else, or something else.
That's interesting.
You know,
that's pretty interesting.
You know, of course, you would like to think that the one that I'm really hot on right now, the thought of reincarnation is like your life just recycles.
Right.
There's that weird post where like the reason why babies cry when they come out is because that's when you pass away and you get reborn, and like all your memories of everyone that you lost in your past life is flashing in your eyes, and you start crying as a newborn baby,
and then you forget it.
Yeah.
Right.
So, you know, that is like one that I'm hot on right now. And I'm like, you know what? That's it.
You know, I've had that thought before too. It's like, you know, I guess we're all the same people before. It's just So what's your you know, on that belief then? The population keeps getting bigger, right?
Sure.
So are you saying like, you know,
you get reborn into a new family?
Right, but like so say you started off with like maybe 40 people, right?
Sure.
Now there's like 7 billion. Those are just like new souls then or something like that?
I would say they're branches.
Ah, okay.
You know what I mean?
Pieces of like
very much like the Marvel cinematic the multiverse.
Oh, okay.
All of us live in our own universes, right? All of us have our own heads, all of us have our own ways of thinking. Even identical twins have their own different branches. Right. So like you said, there's 40 people, they mate whatever. Hi Benji. 7 million people.
Yeah.
Each one of those people have a fragment of at least one of the original people.
Okay, so it was just those original people were then split up to become a new person. Okay, I get what you're saying.
You know, so I always thought, so like, for example, if I were to pass, I would, and you know, at least I would like to think, you know, it would happen in two ways. One, I get reborn as myself.
Yeah.
You know, I restart my life all over again, forget all my memories and everything, make different choices based off weird, like people say, deja vu.
Yeah.
Were instances of your past life that happened
the exact same way.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, you know, but then like depending on that, what you choose there will diverge your path.
Okay.
So, one, I would like to think that I get reborn in my current life is get reborn and do the cycle over and over again, infinite many choices.
Okay.
Two, I get reborn into another person, as another family, and just live their life.
Right.
And so on and so forth.
Oh,
So at least that's what I would like to think. Yeah.
yeah, I like that. That's a really cool way to think about it.
It's a there's no bad.
Yeah,
There's no bad in it. It's peaceful. It sucks
yeah,
that you lose your previous life, but that's a cycle.
right, right.
It makes sense. It's a good give and take. You live a life, you give one up, and you live another one.
Well, that reminds me of there was this movie I watched when I was younger. It was called Down to Earth. It was Chris Rock.
Oh, Chris Rock,
Yeah,
yeah.
Chris Rock. He's a comedian and he dies, and then but he died wrongfully. It wasn't his time yet.
Right.
So he tries to take over a body to come back, and the whole point, and the thing is that I think the head angel was
Yeah.
telling him like, yeah, reincarnation, you're gonna forget who you were and who you are and like where you came from and stuff, and Chris Rock was like, how am I gonna be me if I don't remember me?
Right, yeah.
And he was like, and the dude was like, well, the thing about reincarnation is even though you're not you, you're still you.
Yeah.
Meaning that it's your characteristics of who you are that are gonna stay, but you're gonna forget who you were, like what race you are, whatever.
Yeah.
And apparently that's all just dressing. You know,
Yeah.
like that's not who you are. It's the characteristics of like the person you are.
See, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Of course, the ultimate thought, the best thought of reincarnation
Yeah.
is that I get reborn in my current life and retain all my memories. That'd be amazing.
I don't think that's happened to
But that's
anybody
not-
yet. I don't think anybody's achieved that yet.
I mean, you never know.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the crazy thing about this theory that I have is that these amazing people you see today,
Do you think they might have just remembered what they were before?
that or it's just continuous life cycles. They're learning. They're
just living
experiencing,
one
they're
life.
just living one life at a time.
Yeah.
Bits and pieces slowly come together to where like they're in prime person.
Okay, so you're talking about like the world's greatest people, like like
Exactly.
just take example.
Anybody,
Let's just
you
take
know.
example like Kobe. You're
Yeah,
saying
let's
that
say Kobe.
that hard work incredible work ethic that he has
Came with time.
that came with time, living over multiple lives.
Multiple lives.
Okay, that's
That's what I believe, at least.
that's actually that makes a lot of sense to me.
These people who are Bill Gates. It's like people who always go, this person can't have thought or done these things in this life.
Right.
LeBron James. I think he's done multiple life cycles. It's just that he's slowly, increasingly, small tweaks to where he gets to this point in his life, and then the next life it gets better. The next life it gets better and better and better to the point where it's like he can't do no more.
That's it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's like, but then it's like, I always say like the difference is that like those deja vu things, right? When I say they diverge, those times where we diverge, like I want to hope that in my next life, that I'm closer to my family, that
Yeah.
I'm more family oriented. Of course, we'll never fucking know, but it's like that's the way I think, is that you take a piece, like one thing from what you've learned or what you've done in your previous life, and you're allowed to take that with you,
Okay.
and it slowly piles up, So, yeah.
All right. So sorry about that. We didn't realize that the camera went out. Well, for that part, we're just gonna leave the audio, and
Yeah.
you guys can enjoy a black screen.
Yeah.
But so the reincarnation theory, that's actually something I really like.
Yeah.
That's,
I mean, it's nice. It gives you a little bit of hope.
yeah.
One of the things. No, because it's gonna be that's fucked up. No.
Okay.
I'll tell you off camera.
Okay.
Off recording.
So
off the books.
they can't know.
So they can't know. You gotta ask me in person. You want to meet us?
Coming to a thing near you,
I think.
because I don't know where we're gonna be going.
Anyway, but yeah, no, that's what I would like to think, and like I'm really strong on it right now. Mainly because based off the influences of like all these mangas I read and stuff like that. It's just nice, and
Yeah.
like it's not that like some person. It's always a good story. Past life they had a shitty life, or just a regular life. They
Yeah.
sacrifice themselves, or something unfortunate happens, and then they get reborn in this world, and but they keep all their memories.
Yeah.
That's the main thing about their the general theme is that they all keep their memories of what happened, and then they use that to their advantage in their new life. And so it's like, that'd be cool, you know?
Yeah, that'd be really cool. I like that.
I mean, I remember we were talking about this a long time ago too. We were talking at Denny's. We were talking about this at Denny's too.
Yeah.
And like, it was funny because like, if any of us ever get reincarnated, if you or me ever have reincarnated, we keep our memories. We had like a code word.
Oh,
you remember that shit?
Yeah. I forgot what that was. It was we were gonna somehow, hopefully, we'd run into each other and be like, "Rich, is that you?"
Yeah. Like, yeah, that's me. Okay, never mind. Or it's like, you know, like,
Or what was it? I forgot what the code was gonna be.
I forgot what it was. It was like, it was some random word.
Yeah,
It was some fucking random word, and we're like, okay, if we ever get reincarnated, we're fucking young asses. We're still young.
Yeah, we'd be like, all right. Oh, so it is you. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
we're like, hey, pig asshole. The
Oh, look at you, you're skinny now.
I know, right? You have hair.
For real. You know, if your theory holds up, my previous life probably had like the best hair.
Exactly.
And then they were like, you know what? We're going to make him bald this time. We're going to make him succumb to male pattern baldness at 22.
But no, yeah, I mean, it's a trippy thing. A lot of people are obviously like, I hope this like sort of changes like people's ways of thinking.
Well, yeah, because, everyone, I think throughout most religions, everyone thinks that you're good, you go to the good place.
Yeah.
You live by a set of rules, you go to this place.
Yeah.
You don't follow them, you go to this terrible place. And it's a very scary way to look at that.
Yeah.
One of the things that made me question about it when I was younger is that Roman Catholics, you're supposed to believe in Jesus.
Yeah.
Right? But then I thought about it, I was like, wait, I have a good friend who's Muslim, and he says, he's believing in Muhammad. It's like, does that mean he's gonna go to hell? But he's a good guy.
Right.
Like that's the homie. And that made me question, like, oh, is this kind of fucked up?
Yeah. It's funny. I remember those talks too with like my parents, my family. Oh, don't do that. You're going to go to the bad place.
Yeah.
I'm like, what if the bad place is cool?
Right.
What if they let me do things I want to do?
Like what if it's cracking?
Exactly. So it's like that. It's like, do people who go to heaven or whatever, like, do they look down at hell and be like, oh, they're having so much fun down there?
Yeah, it's just I don't like to think about that.
Yeah.
That it's a scary place that if you don't do things a certain way.
Yeah, I mean, nobody does. I mean, that's sort of the fear that's instilled in these. I mean, I don't want to get into it because it's religion or whatever, but it's the fear that's being pushed on it. It's like, if you do good things, you go good place.
Yeah.
You do bad thing, you go bad place, or the monsters will get you.
And I mean, and I get it. It's to make people like
push them towards the right path.
Yeah, like have a good have morality.
Yeah.
Like don't kill people. It's not good.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock.
Yeah, you kill someone, you go bad.
Right.
You go bad place.
Smoke a cigarette.
Oh yeah,
Man, are you gonna quit?
For real. And I definitely agree. It shouldn't be like that.
Yeah.
Unless the sin you commit is like
insanely
terrible.
Like, no, you're going to fucking hell.
That's it. You don't see anything.
Yeah.
You're done.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's how it should be. Like you're a decent person. You may have messed up a couple places here and there. You get an afterlife. You get whatever that may be. I think, but if you had like committed a murder, you like done terrible things, then I think that there should be no afterlife for that soul.
You get a black loading screen.
Well, yeah, that's it. You don't. There is not. I think that's how it should be. Honestly, like
sure.
Whatever that person, that terrible person, that's it. They're done. There's no afterlife. But you're a decent person. There's still something for you, even if you fucked up a little bit. I don't know, you did some crack or some shit, or I don't know.
Right. Damn. Okay.
Like I don't know, man. That's.
I mean, taking thought of that whole reincarnation thing. It's like, you're a horrible person. You get reborn as a fucking lowly. You get reborn as a piece of shit. Like literally a piece of shit.
Yeah, because That's how it should be. You
that
do,
flies who have a better life will feast on.
yeah, that 24-hour lifespan.
Yeah.
And I think that's how it should be. Just because
At least how we would like to think.
that's how I would
Yeah.
like to think. But okay, so let's get into this then, right? So one of the things that does scare me though is that if there isn't anything, like there's
Just blackness.
it's just that's not even blackness. You're just not even conscious anymore. That's it.
Mm.
It's the point before you were born. There was nothing.
Yeah.
There was nothing.
And you're just waiting for that light.
Like no, there is
Oh, there is no light.
there is
Oh, okay.
there's no
wait.
there's
Sorry,
no
I'm still in reincarnation mode.
right. Like, there's no you.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
Right. There's no you because before we were born, we weren't here.
Mm.
We had no consciousness. We had nothing.
Yeah, we know nothing of what was
Yeah,
going on.
there's no concept of us. So it's scary to think that that's a possibility.
Oh yeah.
You know.
I mean, like, beside, like, obviously, like, I believe in reincarnation. I would like to think that way. Of course, it's scary to think of, okay, what really does happen that we don't know.
Right.
Everyone who says that, like my mom, like when I said, like, she went down, she explained this entire scenery. In my head, I'm like, okay, or is that just your subconscious or your consciousness just personifying, giving you a
Right.
vision of what you want to see?
Well, in the scientific community, they say that it's just these chemicals that are hitting you
Yeah.
at the point of death.
See.
And that's you could take it one way or another. There's also those stories that people had where they saw themselves like from a different angle when they were dead.
Yeah.
So that's something to think about too. It's just because I really hope that it isn't just nothing.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people say that if it is nothing, that means you just have to live a better life while you're alive. But I would still like to think that there's something afterwards.
Right. I mean, there's obviously that's the mystery of what it is.
Right.
But it's like, if that's really what it is, excuse me. Because I've thought about that too. What if it's just nothing?
Yeah.
You feel, hear, see, taste, whatever.
It's nothing.
Nothing.
You can't even think to yourself.
You're in non-existence.
Yeah.
And it's just, yeah, like you said, you just can't even think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's scary, but like, I feel like when it gets to that time, you understand.
Like hopefully, yeah. Oh yeah.
You've come to terms.
Right.
If it is that way, then so be it. Because it's not something you can change. Right. The weird thing about death, it comes.
Right.
It's always there. It's a snail chasing you.
It's that what was that one movie that was like
It follows.
It Follows.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's basically that. It's at a slow pace, but eventually it will catch up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's like, that's why when, like I said, like, what you said is like, you just got to live a better life, in hopes that, of course, you're going to think that it's not that way. You're always going to tell yourself it's not that way. Reincarnation.
Right.
I'm going to be reincarnated as a great ass eagle, excuse me. But like, I feel like as time goes on, and if that is what it is, that there's going to be a phase where we come to acceptance, whether that be that sudden instance or that slow moving time where you're laying on a bed or whatever. Like I said, like, death is a mystery of life.
Yeah.
Or mystery of everything, of its own mystery, sorry.
Right.
And so it's like, death is such a unknown thing. Everyone personifies it as a certain way. Everyone makes movies. Everyone makes films. They put out quotes,
Write out
books,
stories. Yeah.
write out stories, whatever. But you will never know it, and you will never believe in it until it actually happens.
Right.
And nobody will ever know what it is.
Yeah.
And so it's like, when I think about it that way, I accept it. I'm like, I know death is coming. I know it's a real thing. It comes for everybody. For some sooner than others.
Yeah.
For some it takes a longer time. But it comes down to the grieving process. The last phase is accepting it.
Yeah.
I've accepted it. At least I would like to think I have.
Right.
I understand that it's life is a very fragile thing. We're not invincible in any way, shape, or form. We can strive for greatness. We can do great things, but death doesn't
care.
doesn't care.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a
There's
filter.
yeah, no filter. There's no agenda. It's just when it's time,
Yeah.
it's time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know. Excuse me. And so, yeah, it's just
Do
it's
you
weird.
think there's some kind of like grand plan? Because like grandmaster plan and the whole thing. Because one of the things that I've always had like struggled with is when a person is taken like so young. You know.
Mm,
Like my friend, she was only 28.
yeah.
The kids on that helicopter,
Mm-hmm.
all the kids that got shot up at those
Schools,
like
whatever.
Sandy Hook,
Mm-hmm.
all that stuff. That's just for me. It's like thinking, all right, man. Whoever, what this grand plan is, was it really necessary to take them? Like,
Mm.
what, what's that gonna do, bro? Yeah.
I always these sudden instances of these tragic events.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I always say it's unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
It is unfortunate. Is there a plan? I don't know. Is there a reason? I don't know. But it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
You know, um, I don't want to be the kind of person to dwell on it
Yeah.
because I feel like I'm putting those people who pass in vain.
I see.
You know what I mean? That I shouldn't. That's one of the. That's why I don't want to become a detective.
Oh.
But like, I always just say it's unfortunate. A lot of people always say, oh, God had better plans for them, or whatever, or it might have been just their time to go.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, I mean, if God is all great or Jesus is all great and stuff, I fucking hate speaking of our religion or this upper being. Let's say
Yeah.
that if this upper being is so great and so just and whatever, why is this person or why is this upper being taking these people away?
Right.
So it's like, again, it's one of those mysteries.
Right. It's
know.
just because one of the things about humans is that we try to find meaning in life, but then
We chase reason.
yeah, and then we chase reason, so we try to chase reason as to why in death also.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just that's just one thing that that's one thing that kind of turns me off to the whole cosmic like being or like something that's controlling this universe.
Mm-hmm.
The person that's playing Sims with us right now.
Galactus.
Yeah. It's like, all right, you're gonna die now. It's like, hey man, can it not be today?
Right.
Can it be like 40 years from now or something? Right. But that's just how I feel about it.
I mean, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I always thought about that too. Like, those weird. I've seen like pictures of like, what if we're really being looked on by aliens and these people are just like, going through a list of names and clicking and deleting, clicking and deleting. Man, that's a fucked up way to think about it.
Yeah.
But it's like, if it is that way, I always go like, what can we do?
Right.
We can continue to strive and pursue reason as to why.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, what is that gonna change? That's why people always look further than their own lives.
Yeah.
I mean, by all means, think the way you want to think, but it's like when you realize these things that you're supposed to be caring about or whatever supposed to be focusing is gone, like that's it.
Yeah.
And again, like these things that we're talking about, whether there's a cosmic being, a puppeteer,
Yeah.
whether there is a good place or bad place, whether reincarnation, death, these are the mysteries of life as it is. People can study it as much as they want. They can study it, do research, whatever. They can look into a human's brain when someone is dead. They can create a religion based off whatever they believe in, but we never know.
Yeah, it's never going to be a for sure answer at all because
You
no one's ever come back to tell us.
Exactly. And what's or like, and the people who supposedly say they did. Again,
we don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know what they saw.
We don't know whether to believe it or not.
Yeah.
Of course, we have people who will, people who question it, people who just don't fucking care.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's like, you think about it with Kobe and everything. That's why people are saying like, realize what you have now.
Right.
Appreciate, love, be there for the people that you have now. Because if you dwell on these things, you're not realizing what life really is. So, yeah.
Man. What a quote.
What?
Someone put that on a t-shirt or something. Put that on the Instagram post with Richard's face on it.
Stupid. Just me going.
I think that is, that is something that people should take home, though. Is realize what you have, and don't take that for granted.
Don't take it for granted. Love everyone as much as you can. Squash that hate.
Yeah.
No matter how hard it is for the both of y'all or whatever, the group of people, whatever. I can't do that. I'm a hypocrite.
You say that now. But the minute that whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's like, appreciate everything that you have in life. As of right now, of what people believe in and what we currently know, you only have one.
You only have one.
You only have one life.
So just making the best of it.
Yeah, make the best of it.
Make the best of it.
And
eat those tacos, baby. Eat those tacos with that special someone, with your homie, your girl.
Fuck the diet. Boy. I'm just kidding. Better yourself.
Stay healthy.
Stay healthy.
But have a taco once in a while.
Yeah, have a good time. Enjoy your life.
Because that's one of the things that people need to realize, that because my mom was telling me this a while back. So like she thought I was working too much because I was doing I had my main job and then I had my 2 side jobs. I was like nearly working 7 days a week.
Yeah.
She's like, you need to take a rest. You need to just hang out with your family or your friends or whatever. Stop working so much because if you die, that's it. You just worked for the past like 2-3 years. And that all amounted to nothing. So yeah, it's just enjoy. Just enjoy life. Yeah. There's my quote.
Enjoy. Is Armin going?
No, it's more like enjoy life, baby. It's gonna be me like this.
But yeah, I mean,
I'm throwing thumbs up, by the way, for our people on the podcast apps.
Yeah. I'm waving my arms around like a maniac. But yeah, I mean, if you need to take anything away from this, just have no, don't dwell on things.
Do what you want to do. Also,
yeah. Fucking just live the life that you want to live.
As long as it doesn't hurt people.
Yeah. Don't be fucked up.
Yeah, don't be fucked up. Yeah, I think that's it.
Is that what we're gonna end it on?
Yeah, don't be fucked up.
Don't be fucked up.
Don't be fucked up, but live a good life.
Yeah.
All right, guys. If you if anybody out there is having trouble dealing with the death of Kobe or anyone close to them, a passing or anything like
anything
that,
in general, like this, like these feelings you have.
I hope this talk has maybe lifted your spirits a bit, made you laugh at least with some of this ridiculous funerals you just heard about, or that maybe you just try what we did, because for me, like I didn't really get to explain much, but for me it's I'm kind of the opposite of Richard. I kind of I have to talk it out with people. That's just how I am. I have to talk it out, or I just have to cry it out. Like, yeah, if you're a guy, dude, cry.
It's okay to cry.
It's okay to cry.
Why must I cry? Check out that video. That's how we'll put it.
Yeah, guys cry too, man. Don't that manly tear. It's okay. You can have more of those. You have more manly tears.
Denzel, more Denzels,
more Denzel manly tears.
1, 2.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Whereas 2020, baby, guys can cry. By the way, speaking of 2020, Happy New Year, because January was just a trial month, man. That shit sucks. Let's hope this next 11 months are better.
Right.
All right. Thank you for listening to this emergency episode of Y'all Ready for Drinks. We will be posting every Friday for the next few months because it's season 2, baby. Rich just looked at me like, "Oh, why you keep committing us to stuff?"
Why you keep it rolling? Keep it rolling. Keep her going.
If you guys want to find us on social, we are on Instagram at Y'all Ready for Drinks. Yep. Same with Facebook. Twitter is YRFD. Podcast. YRFD podcast. Underscore. Crap. What's our shit?
Okay. In the meantime, while I was looking at it, if you guys are taking anything out of this episode, or if you guys are experiencing anything, if you want to share it with us, please by all means go ahead and DM us at our Instagram. Y'all Ready for Drinks.
It is YRFD podcast on Twitter.
Podcast on Twitter. You can DM us, share us your story, share us how you would deal with these kind of things.
Yeah.
If you were hit by this Kobe incident and their lives and everything, let us know.
Yeah,
We would love to hear that.
Yeah, tell us a favorite memory maybe from that. Because for me, I'm always gonna remember. Well, it wasn't exactly a Kobe memory, but he was part of it. It was the 2002 Western Conference Finals when him and Shaq missed the last minute shot and then Robert Horry hit it. Oh, by the way, if you're a Kobe fan, listen to Lil Wayne's Kobe Bryant. That shit is a dope ass song.
For sharing Kobe moments. I remember when I was playing outside, when I used to play outside because I wasn't as fat, and me and the homies would always play basketball, right? And we'd imitate Kobe's turnaround jumper.
Kobe.
Yeah.
Don't let the tradition die, by the way.
Yeah.
That's a dope ass tradition.
So yeah. Did we shout everything out?
For everyone that passed away,
R.I.P.
rest in peace, rest in paradise, and power, and just hope you guys rest easy. This episode is dedicated to everyone that we lost, you know.
Yep.
Yeah, guys. Oh man. Happy note. Happy note. Happy note.
Copyright.
All right, guys. Stay tuned for next week's episode. We'll see you. Bye bye. There. Happy note. Yay!